Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 9.2 review. Make sure you have your calculators out and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first set of directions say to evaluate the function for the given domain value. If f of x equals -2 parentheses 1/3 parentheses to the x power, find the value of f of -4. So what this is telling us is that we are going to plug in -4 for our x. So the way we would write this would be f of -4 equals -2 parentheses 1/3 to the -4th. So what do you guys get when you plug that into your calculators? If you need a little help, we can do it together. So we have -2 times 1/3 raised to the -4th power. And when you do that, you should get -162. Okay. If g of x equals -4/3 x plus 6, find the value of g of 9. Okay, so once again, we're finding g of 9, -4/3 times 9 plus 6. Okay, you guys are all on your own. Tell me what you get. Did you get -6? Because that's what I got. Okay. So next one, say find the range of values that accompany the given domain values. So now they're telling us three different numbers to be plugging in. Okay, so they're saying that we're going to plug in whatever x is. We're going to plug that in. So we're going to do this not once, not twice, but 3 times. And we're going to plug in -3, -1, and 5. Okay, so first one we're plugging in -3. And what'd you get? Should get that f of -3 equals what? -13. Okay? F of -1, when you plug in -1 to this equation, what do you get? I got -9. And then f of 5, what'd you get for f of 5? Did you get 3? That's what I got. And then those are our 3 answers. Okay? All right, let's do another one together, g of x. So for g of x, this time we're going to plug in 2. We're going to plug in 4. And then we're going to plug in 6. So we have to be careful this time because we got a little bit more that we're plugging in now. So right now I bet you guys wish you had this. Edit, copy, and paste. So I can just go boom. Put right there. Boom. Okay. So in our first equation, we're plugging in 2. The second one, we're plugging in 4. And the last one, we're plugging in 6. And when we write our answers, we would say g of 2 equals g of 4 equals and g of 6 equals. So I have all of my answers in one place. So we'll go ahead and do a couple of these together. We're doing 2 squared minus 3 times 2 plus 5. And you get 3. So our first answer is 3. Second answer, did you guys do the second one yet? I got 9. And you guys do the number g of 6. Did you get 23? Because that's what I got. Okay, so those are our answers. All right, I'm going to let you guys do 5 and 6 all on your own. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and good luck. Okay, and there are your answers. Now I'll go through how you should have plugged in 1 for number 5. Because see that negative sign on the outside, you should have the negative and then in parentheses the negative 2 squared plus 3, excuse me, times negative 2 minus 8. And you get negative 18, so you have to be very careful with your signs. And I'll do the same thing for 6, okay? In my calculator, I have to put the 1/2 in parentheses. I'm timesing it by negative 2 raised to the 3rd power plus 4 times negative 2. And that's how we get negative 12. Okay, so you have to be very careful about your calculator. The calculator is only as smart as the person who pushes the buttons. All right, 7. The next set says to evaluate the function for the given domain value. Find f of negative, or f of 2. So what we need to do is we need to find where 2 is, and then what value is that at? That would be at 1, okay? Because it is lined up with 1. F of negative 1. So now I'm going to go to negative 1 on my graph. I need to go up to where it meets the line, and that is at 2. Why don't you try to find f of 0? Well, there's 0. You go straight down, and it's at the point negative 2. Okay, I think you've got it. Why don't you guys try to do number 10, 11, and 12? For 10, I'm at negative 3. I'm going up, and that is at the point negative 2. Okay. Next one, we're going to 1, which is to the right. And I'm going down, and that is at, oh, once again, that's at negative 2. Oh, wait, the first one wasn't at negative 2, guys. I'm sorry, that was at positive 2. Hopefully you're yelling at me. And then negative 2, there's negative 2, we go up. And there we go. It's not directly at 2. I think it's a little less than that. So I'm going to say about 1.9. Okay. You could have said 2. I think it's just a little less than that. Okay, let's flip it over. So it's telling us to perform the indicated operation for the given functions. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3 functions. Let's look at the first one. It's saying to do g of x minus, we got to pay attention to that, minus h of x. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, in parentheses, write down g of x, which is x squared minus 4x plus 3, and we're going to subtract that to negative 6x squared plus 7x. So there's one formula, or one function, and there's the other. So if we're subtracting, well, first thing we got to do is get them outside of the parentheses. And we would want to distribute a 1. And the first one we distribute is a positive 1. So everything stays the same. Now, because that's subtraction, I'm going to distribute a negative sign to everything. And when I distribute a negative sign, the numbers are the same. Oh, I didn't need 3 of these. I just needed 2. The numbers stay the same. It's just the sign in front. So a negative times a negative, that turns to a positive, and a negative times a positive is a negative. So now we just start by combining our like terms. We have x squared plus 6x squared, which gives us 7x squared. Negative 4x minus 7x gives us negative 11x. And then the 3 is all by itself, so we're left with plus 3. All right, let's look at 14. 14 wants us to multiply f of x times h of x. So we have 5x minus 4 times negative 6x squared plus 7x. Okay? Now, since you're only multiplying a binomial times a binomial, you do not have to use the box method. You can if you want to. I'm going to distribute. So 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. X times x squared gives me x cubed. Remember, we add the exponents. Then we have 5x times 7x, so 5 times 7 gives us 35. X times x gives us x squared. Okay, negative 4 times negative 6 is a positive 24 and x squared. And then last, negative 4 times positive 7x gives me a negative 28x. So I want to look, are there any like terms? And in this case there are. We can add the middle. So the negative 30x cubed stays the same. 35 plus 24 gives me a positive 59x squared minus 28x. Okay, f of x times g of x. So f of x is the 5x minus 4, and the g of x is the x squared minus 4x plus 3. And for this one, yes, I would do the box method. Okay, because I have a binomial times a trinomial. I want to keep all of my information in one spot. So we got 5x minus 4, x squared minus 4x plus 3. Why don't you guys try to multiply all of those and see what you get? First box should have been 5x cubed. Negative 20x squared. 5 times 3, 15. Then we get negative 4x squared. Negative 4 is a positive 16x. And last one is negative 12. Okay? And then we're going to combine our like terms. And we get a grand total of 5x cubed minus 24x squared plus 31x minus 12. Okay, number 16. So number 16, we have that negative 5 on the outside, and they want us to multiply h of x, and h of x is the negative 6x squared plus 7x. So all we have to do is distribute. Remember, -5 times -6 is a positive 30 x squared, and then -5 times positive 7 would give us negative 35 x. Okay. 17. 17 is just like 13, guys. I want to see if you can do this on your own. So let's first write down everything. We got g of x, which is x squared minus 4x plus 3, and we are subtracting that to 5x minus 4. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and do this one all on your own. Okay, remember that you have to distribute that negative, and it's a -1. And so our symbols changed. And then when you combine like terms, you get x squared minus 9x plus 7. Okay, in number 18, you are all on your own. Go ahead and add those two functions. Pause the video. Okay, and you should have gotten x squared plus x minus 1. Now, if you didn't get that, or you need any extra help on any of the other problems, please come find myself or Ms. Carranza. We would love to help you out. Your homework is 9.2 Practice B, and come and find us if you need it. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra Unit 9.2 Review. Thanks for watching.